Hey guys, this is Garrett, also known as Creative Handyman Online, also the owner of Sugar Daddy Bees, etc., etc., etc. We'll get past all that. Anyway, I want to share with you today a life hack that could help you rebuild your credit or build new credit depending on your situation. And I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. I'm not going to ask you to sign up to some monthly subscription. I really don't like the credit system, and I enjoyed beating the credit system, and I want you to do it as well. And you can better your life, your family's life, and those around you. And if you're a believer in God, you can use a better situation financially to serve the kingdom as well. So whatever situation you may be in, I hope that this helps you a lot. So I'm just going to share this with you. The only thing I will ask is that you like and subscribe to my channel. If you could do that, that would be awesome. So let's get right into it. I'll get right into the nitty-gritty details, and I'm going to share with you two scenarios in my life where this worked exceptionally well. I came up with this idea. I'm assuming other people in the world have also came up with this. I've been sharing it with friends and family for years, so they too can benefit from this. But I came up with it because of a real life situation that I was in, and I used this tactic two different times. So I'll start out with number one. I was 18 years old. I lived alone. I didn't have someone willing to co-sign for me at the time, and I was a hard worker. So I actually had money, and my goal was to buy a home. So I quickly realized I needed to establish some credit to buy a home, and so I went to the bank to get a small personal loan. I thought that's a perfect way to start building credit. I thought I had a good rapport at the bank. I mean, they saw I was an exceptionally hard worker as a young man. I mean, they saw I had consistent money coming in every single week, and I had a good savings. I was making tons of money. For someone my age, I wasn't rich, don't get me wrong, but for someone my age, I was doing exceptionally well at 18 years old. And I thought, you know, the bank, surely they'll give me a $1,000 loan, right? I mean, why wouldn't they? So I went in, applied for the loan, and they said, we're sorry, you know, you don't have, it's not that you have bad credit. They said you have no credit. So we can't help you unless you have a cosigner. We need someone to cosign for you. And I was like, but I don't have a cosigner. They're like, well, we're sorry, we can't help you. And they actually turned me away. They said, there's nothing we can do for you. So I went home. I was very frustrated by this. I was like, well, what kind of system is that doesn't allow someone a starting point? And yes, I know, a cosigner, great. Not everybody has that. I didn't have that. Or maybe you are in a situation where you're an independent person and you don't want to bog your family down with a co-signature. That's understandable too. And a system that doesn't allow you to step into the lending world without someone holding your hand, so to speak, is a broken system right off the get-go. So I was very frustrated, and I went home and I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, they see I have money. I don't have bad credit. Sure, I don't have any credit, but you know, you got to start somewhere, right? So they wouldn't work with me. So that night I went home and brainstormed, and I thought, well, why don't I go in there and give them $1,000 and say, hey, here's $1,000. Would you lend me $1,000? So I went in and I said that to the banker. I said, listen, I said, I got to start somewhere. I want to buy a house. And I know I can't buy a house if I don't have credit history. So I need to build credit history. I said, can I please give you $1,000? And then you give me a $1,000 personal loan. And they kind of looked at me cockeyed like they never thought of this idea. I couldn't, unimaginable, right? They're bankers. You'd think they'd think of every idea. That's their job, right? Anyway, they looked at me like, wow, this guy's a genius. It's not really that smart of an idea. It was just like, come on, here's $1,000. Lend me $1,000 for crying out loud. And they said, well, here's what we could do. They said, we could let you put $1,000 into a CD, and then we'll hold the title to that CD as collateral, and then we can lend you $1,000. I said, great, let's do it. Now, every bank may handle that differently. As you'll hear later, as I get into my second story, you'll hear a different bank handled the similar situation in a different way. So we'll get into that. Your bank may handle it differently, but approach them like I did and say, here's $1,000, lend me $1,000, you know. So what they did was the CD was froze for a year, and it was a 1-year loan. And I just had to pay monthly. So yes, I lost some interest, but I quickly built credit, like really quick. The bad thing that went wrong with that was because I suddenly had good credit as a very young man, I got many credit card offers. And I used those credit cards, ended up getting sick, missing some payments, got some late payment charges, over the limit charges, interest, and it just mounted. 4 credit cards mounted into an uncrossable mountain is what it seemed like. And I destroyed that good credit I had, sadly. So I just told you how to build credit from nothing. then I destroyed it. So maybe you don't want to take all your advice from me, but this is my life experience. So I'm going to share that with you, and hopefully you can, you know, relate to it in some way and learn from it. So I crushed my credit, and there I was back at square one. I needed to repair. Now, instead of new credit, I needed to repair broken bad credit. So number one, in that scenario, you need to pay off those past debts. I was able to get into like a credit counseling situation where they were able to stop the interest from piling up, so that I could actually see light at the end of the tunnel. And that worked for me. I don't know what kind of situations we're talking. I don't know. Well, that's a lot of years ago, a couple decades ago. So I don't know if they're still offering that kind of stuff. But it did work for me. They froze the interest as long as I made the payments every month. I chiseled away after it, year after year, and I got it paid off. Now I want to get back to getting a mortgage for some property, you know. So I have bad credit. I went back to the bank with my similar tactic, same tactic pretty much, and said, listen, I need a personal loan to build credit, to try and repair my credit. I have $3,500 I've saved up. I want to give you $3,500, and then I want you to lend me $3,500. And they said, well, actually, we could do that. Now, what they did different, they didn't give me a CD. They actually took the $3,500 and they put it in a savings account. And they froze the savings account, so I couldn't touch it. I couldn't withdraw from it. And then we actually set up an auto payment out of the savings account. But what they did was, as money became available in the savings account, like as I got equity, so to speak, with the loan, it would release that same amount of money out of the savings. So it was then available to me. So say it started out at $3,500. When I paid the loan down to $3,400, now there's $100 available to me. So it worked really well. So I don't know if the payment actually came out of that account. I think the payment had to come out of another account because of the interest, right? But as soon as I paid it, then that money, aside from the interest, would become available in the other savings account. So each bank's going to handle it differently. And I quickly rebuilt my credit all over again. From bad credit, it was like a snap of a finger. Now, I did use some other tricks. I did go ahead and get another credit card, which is, you know, you want to be careful. You know, as I got older, I was more responsible. But that can be a slippery slope. But having multiple types of loans is the key to rebuilding your credit. So I did go ahead and get another credit card, and I got one of those credit cards that allows me to see my credit report every single month. And that was a huge benefit. And it gave me encouragement because I went from a horrible credit score to little by little climbing up the ladder. Actually, pretty quickly once I did that loan trick again. And it worked really well for me. So I hope you can use that tip to better your financial future. And I do have more ideas and more information to share with you about how I rebuilt my credit. So there is more to it. There's some ideas like such as credit card companies. You don't want to have too many credit cards with low limits. It makes lenders nervous. Like, why do you have 10 credit cards with a $500 limit? That's, you don't really want that. You don't want to be opening and closing a whole bunch of credit card accounts. You don't seem like a long-term customer to lenders then. So there's a whole bunch of tricks like that I'd love to share with you. But that's enough for this video. If you could, please like and subscribe. That's all I ask. That'll help me out a lot. And hopefully I can help you out this time, as well as a future video with rebuilding your credit score, hacking that credit system, and bettering your financial future. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.